Welcome to this deep dive explainer. Today, we're unpacking a fascinating situation: how a massive geopolitical trade crisis is actively being solved right now by a highly advanced edge AI stack. We are going to look closely at a system known as the Digital Refinery. It's operated by a company called 905 Wood, and they basically act as a sentient bridge between the incredibly chaotic, messy world of physical construction waste and the pristine, mathematically strict requirements of the global biocarbon market. We've got a packed agenda for this investigation. We'll kick things off with Section 1, the geopolitical waste crisis, then move into the Sentient Bridge solution, the Edge AI hardware, and the Sovereign Model Council. We'll wrap it all up with provable digital product passports and the global biocarbon payoff. Section 1, the geopolitical waste crisis, macro chaos. To really grasp the sheer scale of the solution we're talking about today, we first need to look objectively at the massive logistical reality facing the industrial corridor that connects Ontario, Canada, to the state of Michigan. The absolute crucial point here is this staggering volume. Think about this: 3.46 million tons of municipal solid waste, or MSW, is shipped across the U.S. border to Michigan landfills from Ontario, Canada, every single year. Just try to picture the endless daily convoy of heavy-duty trucks it takes to move nearly 3.5 million tons of trash across an international checkpoint. To put that into perspective, that cross-border Ontario trash makes up a massive 14.35% of all waste disposed of in Michigan landfills. Let that sink in for a second. Nearly 15% of Michigan's entire landfill volume is just trucked over from Canada. Now, for years, this was just a cheap, commoditized service. You'd rent a steel bin, fill it with construction debris, and dump it on the cheap across the border. But, as we're about to see, that era of cheap dumping is closing really, really fast. If you look at current year-to-date headline news trends, you'll see reports of extreme volatility. We're talking about looming USMCA tariff threats coming out of Washington from Donald Trump, and at the same time, CUSMA negotiation fallout in Ontario being navigated by Premier Doug Ford. The market reality is incredibly stark. Relying on raw MSW disposal, literally just packing up unverified waste and shipping it across the border, is rapidly becoming an unpredictable and massive corporate risk for general contractors. Because if those cross-border tariffs actually hit, the cost of disposal skyrockets literally overnight. Section 2, the Sentient Bridge solution. So, facing this chaotic, tariff-threatened waste stream, what does a company do? Well, 905 Wood isn't trying to build more landfills. They've completely abandoned the standard waste hauler identity. Instead, 905 Wood acts as this sentient bridge. They are actively transforming the messy mud and noise of a demolition site into the laboratory-level purity required for global ESG assets. The old way was a massive cross-border liability. The new way turns that exact same waste into a documented, registry-verified biocarbon feedstock that is kept securely right there in Ontario. But bridging that gap, going from a muddy, splintered piece of scrap wood in a bin to a pristine digital data point, requires some seriously astonishing technology. Section 3, the Edge AI hardware. This is where it gets incredibly cool, because this entire transformation happens offline, in the rain, on a device you can literally buy at an electronics store. It doesn't happen in some pristine cloud data center. It happens right at the garbage bin. By operationalizing the Google Pixel 11 Pro running Android 17 and the Light RTA I stack, 905 Wood executes a heavily compressed AI model directly on the device's Tensor G6 Edge TPU. Rather than using a standard chip that gets bogged down managing memory, the Edge TPU uses what's called a weight stationary design. This means the AI's core knowledge stays parked in place while the data flows past it, saving incredible amounts of energy. And to fit a model that powerful onto a phone, they use turbo-quant compression, shrinking it down to 4-bit MXFP4 precision. It's kind of like squishing a massive encyclopedia into a tiny pocket dictionary without losing any of the plot. Because all of this runs natively on the edge without needing a cell connection, it easily beats what they call the sub-second rule. This ensures the classification happens fast enough to keep up with the chaos of a construction site. The phone's camera visually parses the unstructured data of a woodpile in real time. Think about it. If the phone had to send every single photo to the cloud, a dead cell zone would literally bring the entire operation to a grinding halt. By running locally in under 500 milliseconds, they completely eliminate network latency and keep all that data perfectly private. Section 4, the Sovereign Model Council. Now, while the Edge phone handles the fast, high-volume physical sorting, the deeper, high-stakes regulatory reasoning is handled by an incredible cloud-based committee. They actually divide the labor using a model council. You have Gemini 3.6 Pro handling the complex multimodal regulatory reading over rules like Ontario's extremely strict OREG 347 waste regulations. Then you have Claude Opus 4.8, which crafts the exact audit grade narratives and handles arbitration if the models disagree. And finally, GPT SOS 120B handles the strictly sovereign data to ensure no single AI model can ever hallucinate a compliance number. They're constantly cross-checking each other. Using an open-weight model here isn't just a cost-saving measure, it's a structural legal moat designed to guarantee Canadian data residency. Up in Canada, hazardous waste records fall under strict PIPEDA privacy laws. By running GPT OSS 120B, which is an open-source model, on their own local servers in Ontario, 905 Wood ensures that highly sensitive regulatory data absolutely never crosses the U.S. border into another jurisdiction. It is a massive, massive compliance advantage. Section 5. Provable digital product passports. So, what does this actually look like for the person managing the waste on the ground? Well, the 905 Wood digital refinery application workflow features a completely seamless UI/UX. The process kicks off with a request for quote, or RFQ, pricing out the exact savings of keeping that wood out of a landfill. Next, the AI compliance gate on the phone scans the wood out in the field, which is then followed by physical verification via XRF sensors back at the hub. Ultimately, the system generates highly detailed output PDF documentation. This includes a certificate of origin and a precise HS 3825.0 tariff classification, which acts as a literal cross-border tariff firewall for their clients. This specific hold-to-seal step creates an unforgeable digital birth certificate for the scrap wood. It provides the rigorous digital measurement, reporting, and verification, or DMRV, needed for carbon registries. When the worker presses the screen, the Pixel's internal Titan M2 security chip cryptographically signs the file. It absolutely cannot be altered by a salesperson after the fact. It is permanently locked. This is the exact batch traceable evidence that turns trash into a premium digital asset. Section 6. The Global Biocarbon Payoff. Okay, let's bring this all together and look at the final, highly lucrative destination for this newly certified wood. Because the AI stack definitively eliminates the risk of chemically treated wood slipping through, producers like the Char Biochar facility in Thorold can use this local construction waste as feedstock. And this completely inverts traditional economics. Normally, biochar producers have to buy really expensive forestry residue and truck it in from remote northern mills. But with 905 Wood, generators actually pay to have the waste removed, meaning this pure feedstock lands at the biochar facility at a negative cost. This strict proof of purity allows 905 Wood to feed directly into the highly regulated Puro.Earth CDR infrastructure methodologies. They're minting premium CO2 removal certificates, or QORCs. If you look at the Puro.Earth document library and competitive landscape, almost everyone relies on clean forestry or agricultural waste. Construction and demolition wood is traditionally viewed as way too risky, too full of toxic treated lumber. But using their AI compliance gate to surgically remove that risk, 905 Wood has opened up a massive, entirely uncontested lane. Ultimately, this Sentient Bridge turns a geopolitical liability into a verified ESG asset. By operationalizing the Google Pixel 11 Pro and the LiDAR AI stack, 905 Wood effectively secures Ontario's industrial leadership in the global circular bioeconomy. With Ontario facing severe legal gridlock on new landfills and only about 9 years of capacity left, this system redirects millions of tons of waste away from those volatile cross-border Michigan routes and straight into the lucrative heart of the bioeconomy. I'll leave you with this thought to end our explainer today. If a consumer phone running an offline AI stack in the cab of a garbage truck can instantly translate muddy waste into a premium global commodity, what other chaotic physical industries are about to be completely rewired? We are rapidly moving into an era where every physical object in our global supply chain might soon require this exact level of verified digital provenance. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.